African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoy, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing on the progress of the special military operation as of May 24, 2025. Tonight, the armed forces of the Russian Federation carried out a group strike with high-precision ground-based weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles on a Ukrainian military-industrial complex enterprise that produces missile weapons and attack unmanned aerial vehicles, a radio-technical reconnaissance center, and a position of a U.S.-made Patriot anti-aircraft missile system. The strike targets have been achieved. All designated objects have been hit. As a result of successful actions, units of the North Military Group liberated the settlement of Lochnia in Sumy Oblast. Concentrations of manpower and equipment of 2 airborne assault brigades, an infantry brigade, an assault regiment of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and a territorial defense brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Yanukovka, Besilovka, Miropoli, Sadki, Mariino in the Sumy region and Rubelno in the Kharkiv region. That the Ukrainian armed forces lost over 155 servicemen, a tank, 4 armored combat vehicles, 4 cars, 10 field artillery pieces, and an ammunition depot. Units of the West Group of troops took up more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated formations of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Kupiansk, Andriivka in the Kharkov region, Redkadub and Yampol in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 215 servicemen, 3 combat armored vehicles, including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 17 vehicles, 2 artillery pieces, including a UK-made 155mm Braveheart self-propelled artillery unit. An electronic warfare station and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. As a result of decisive actions, units of the Southern Group of Forces liberated the settlement of Stopochki in the Donetsk People's Republic. The manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized mountain assault and airmobile brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces were damaged in the areas of the settlements of Zvanovka, Seversk, Serebryanka, Konstantinovka, Berstok, Zaria, and Alexandro-Sheltino of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 280 servicemen, 4 armored combat vehicles, 10 cars, 2 field artillery guns, an electronic warfare station, and an ammunition depot. Units of the Center Group of Forces defeated formations of the Heavy Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the Marine Brigade, the Special Forces Brigade, the Territorial Defense Brigade, and the National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Moravka, Yablanovka, Novosergivka, Nikolaivka, Novoekonomichesko, Alexiivka, and Dimitrov of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy's losses amounted to 410 servicemen, 5 armored combat vehicles, including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 11 cars, and 3 artillery pieces. As a result of decisive actions, units of the East Military Group liberated the settlement of Otradnoy in the Donetsk People's Republic. The manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a territorial defense brigade were damaged in the areas of the settlements of Komar, Zelenoy-Pol, Novopol in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Guliapol in the Zaporizhia region. That the Ukrainian armed forces lost over 200 servicemen, 7 combat armored vehicles, 7 cars, and 3 field artillery guns. 2 electronic warfare stations were destroyed. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces defeated formations of a mountain assault brigade, 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Molotokmachka in the Zaporizhia region, Marievka in the Dnipropetrovsk region, Tyajinka, Tokarevka, and Zelenovka in the Kherson region. Up to 70 servicemen, 8 vehicles, 2 artillery pieces, and 2 electronic warfare stations were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces groups have destroyed a separate center of Special Operations Forces, an SBU aviation center, ammunition depots, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian Armed Forces units and foreign mercenaries in 153 districts. Air defense systems shot down a MiG-29 aircraft of the Ukrainian Air Force, 3 JDAM-guided aerial bombs, and 7 rockets of the U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, as well as 174 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 663 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 59,158 unmanned aerial vehicles, 607 anti-aircraft missile systems, 23,511 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,563 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 25,233 field artillery pieces and mortars, 35,888 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.